and welcome to the Blindfold Chess Podcast.
This week, we are looking at a 3-time World Youth Gold Medalist, a 4-time U.S. Women's Chess Championship participant, and the youngest American to earn the International Master title, all before the age of 16, Alice Lee. Alice was born in 2009 in Minnesota. Her parents were both professors. Her dad taught her how to play chess at the age of 6. Then when she started, her goal was trying to beat her dad, which she did within a year. Shortly after she started playing, she joined a local chess club that her brother was in. Her brother, Lyndon Lee, was rated around 2150. She said that her brother was her greatest role model. He helped her with her games and analysis before he went off to college. When she was 7, she went to a summer camp for chess where she attended a lesson from GM Dmitry Gurevich. After she gave a long and accurate response to a puzzle, he wanted to know a little bit more about her. Quote, "He said that I had a lot of potential to be good. I found it really inspiring, solely based on that one answer I gave to his puzzle. He encouraged me to become a strong player and to reach a higher goal later." End quote. Dmitry would later become her coach. Under his tutelage, her rating exploded. From 2018 to 2019, her FIDE rating jumped almost 700 points from 1290 to 1941. 1 year later, Alice reached the national rating of 2000, earning the U.S. Chess Expert Level designation. 1 year after that, she won her first gold medal at the World Youth Chess Championship in the girls under 10 division, and she won the under 18 section of the 2019 National Girls Championship. The under 18 section at the age of 9. Then another year after that, she became a national master, which is a United States chess rating of 2200 at the age of 10. Quote, "It seemed like her older brother, Lyndon, was the chess player, and Alice was just tagging along, but by 10 years old, Alice was competing with the top juniors," end quote. Her mom, Vanessa Lee, said in an article from Chess for Students. She had all of this momentum to continue growing, but then the pandemic happened. She said it was hard to stay motivated to play because she couldn't do her over-the-board tournaments, but that did not stop her. Around this point, she was studying anywhere between 2 to 12 hours a day. She was invited to play at the 2020 Chess Kid Youth Speed Championship, where she became a crowd favorite. The tournament would later lead her to become a Chess Kid ambassador and to co-create a show on ChessKid.com called Alice's Pawn Palace with FIDE master Mike Klein that would go until 2023. In 2020, she also won the Girls Under 12 World Youth Championship, taking home another gold medal. When over-the-board tournaments resumed after the pandemic, she continued to dominate. In the span of 2021 to 2022, her rating jumped from 1972 to 2344, which is just insane. In 2021, she won the Under 12 World Youth Championship, again, picking up her third gold medal. She also won the Under 18 Girls North American Youth Championship. By winning that tournament, she was automatically awarded her Women's International Master title. In 2022, at the age of 12, she played in the U.S. Women's Chess Championship, coming in 7th. She was also the youngest participant in the Women's American Cup, where she made it to the playoffs against one of her role models, Irina Krush, with Irina coming out on top. That same year, she played in the Southwest Class Championships, earning her FIDE Master title, an International Master norm, and a Women's Grandmaster norm, all in the same tournament. She was also one of 5 people who were awarded the Frank P. Sanford Jr. Chess Fellowship Award, which is an award given to those that are, quote, able to demonstrate talent, achievement, and commitment to chess. They must be willing to make the effort required to become a leading grandmaster and possible challenger for the World Championship." End quote. 2023 was another busy year for her. In February, at the 1000 GM NYCIM Norm event, she earned her second International Master Norm and her second Women's Grandmaster Norm. Then, in the middle of the year, she earned her final International Master Norm and her final Women's Grandmaster Norm at the Canadian Transnational Championship, becoming the youngest American in history and the third youngest globally to earn the International Master title at the age of 13 years and 7 months. Of course, that wasn't all. She was also back at the U.S. Women's Championship, finishing in third. Then at the Women's American Cup, she made it to the finals, and at the World Women's Team Championship, she got an individual gold medal, and she became the youngest player to win the U.S. Girls Junior Championship. If that wasn't enough, she needed to bolster her resume a little bit more by playing for the St. Louis Archbishops at the Chess.com Pro Chess League, where she beat two grandmasters rated 2661 and 2700, and she drew Hikaru Nakamura, who was rated 2775. For all of those accomplishments, she received the Frank P. Sanford Jr. Chess Fellowship Award for a second year in a row. She continued in 2024, finishing in third at the U.S. Women's Championship. She defended her title at the U.S. Girls Junior Championship. At the Olympiad, she helped the U.S. women's team win their first medal in 16 years, and she picked up a silver medal for her board performance. She was the youngest player to play in the Cairns Cup, which is one of the strongest women's tournaments on the planet, and she was the youngest winner of the Women's American Cup. In 2024, the Minnesota Senate passed Senate Resolution 96, congratulating her on her achievements. She won the U.S. Chess Young Player of the Year award, becoming the first woman to earn it, and she was awarded the Frank P. Sanford Jr. Fellowship Award for the third year in a row. Then last year, at the age of 15, she finished in fifth at the U.S. Women's Championship. She won the Women's American Cup for the second year in a row. She finished in second at the Cairns Cup, and her rating reached a new high of 2412. That rating puts her in the top 5 of girls' ratings in the world and the top 50 rated women in the world. While her chess career is thriving, she is still a kid. She enjoys math, Taylor Swift, and is trying to live a normal life. She hasn't committed to future plans for college or professional chess yet. She has said that she hopes she is an inspiration for other people to chess, similar to her role models like the Polgar sisters, Ho Yifan, Irina Krush, and Carissa Yip. Fun fact, I've played Alice. We met in the round 3 of the Winter Open back in 2022. At one point, I was positionally up about 2 in the position, so my game against her was my "I was winning until I wasn't" story that every chess player has, and then she completely dismantled my position and destroyed me. With that win against me, her rating went from 2299 to 2302, breaking the 2300 rating barrier. So, you're welcome for that, Alice. If anyone is curious, I have attached that game into the show notes. Another fun fact, her opponent this week in our game is Joseph Wan, who is another person that I have played several times, including our state championship, and in every encounter that we've had, I have been absolutely crushed. So for our game this week, we are going back just a couple of years ago to the Washington International Championship from 2024. Alice Lee versus Joseph Wan. Now, if we're ready, let's begin.
1. Pawn to d4. Pawn to d5. Two. Pawn to c4. Pawn to e6. 3. Knight f3. Pawn to a6.
After the move pawn to a6, we are looking at a super flexible system of the queen's gambit declined. White is offering a temporary pawn sacrifice on c4 in the hopes that she can gain center control and tempo. Black is declining it, but is leaving the option open for the future. The move pawn to a6 is partially a waiting move, but it also keeps pieces out of the b5 square, and it also helps support a b5 push if black wants to play pawn on d captures on c4, then follow up with pawn b7 to b5.
Bishop g5. Bishop e7. Bishop captures e7. Queen captures e7. Knight b to d2. Knight f6. Pawn to g3. Castle kingside. Bishop g2. Knight b to d7. Rook c1. Pawn to c5. Castle kingside. Rook e8. Rook e1. Pawn c captures d4. Knight captures d4. Knight c5.
Knight to c5 looks like a good move for black. It is unblocking the bishop that is on c8 and covering the e4 square. What can white do in this position to make black reconsider this plan?
Queen c2.
Queen to c2 develops the queen, puts pressure on protecting the e4 square, and threatens the knight tactically with a move like pawn to c4 and then capturing on d5.
Knight c to d7.
The knight moving back to d7 is black admitting that they had made a mistake.
Pawn to a3. Pawn to e5. Knight f5. Queen e6. 16. Pawn c captures d5.
What is the idea behind the move pawn captures on d5? This is a pretty multi-purpose move. White is softening black's control of the center. It increases the scope of the light square bishop that is on g2, hoping to open up the a8 to h1 diagonal. And critically, by removing the pawn that is on d5, the squares of e4 and c4 are available for Alice's knight that is on d2.
Knight captures d5. (17) Knight c4. Knight 7 to f6. (18) Pawn to e4. Knight e7. (19) Rook e to d1. Pawn to g6.
The move pawn to g6 targets your knight that is on f5. What would you do in white's position?
(20) Rook d6.
Rook to d6 traps the black queen that is on e6.
Pawn g captures f5. (21) Rook captures e6. Bishop captures e6. (22) Knight d6. Rook f8. (23) Pawn e captures f5. Bishop d5. (24) Queen d2.
Queen to d2 is a nice subtle move. It threatens the bishop that is on d5, but it also threatens the queen going to g5 for check, forcing the black king to go to the h8 square, and then white would win the knight by playing queen captures on f6. So black needs to prevent this.
King h8. (25) Queen g5. Knight e to g8. (26) Bishop captures d5. Knight captures d5. (27) Pawn to f6. Knight G captures f6. (28) Queen captures e5. Rook a to d8. (29) Rook d1. King g8. (30) Rook captures d5. Knight captures d5. (31) Queen g5 check. Black resigns.
Why did Black resign in this position? Black's only legal move right now would be king to h8. White can then play knight captures on f7 with check. The only legal move for Black is rook captures on f7. White can then play queen captures on d8 with check. Black would play king to g7, and White can then capture the undefended knight that is on d5, leaving a position where White is up a queen for a rook, as well as a pawn, and also a safer king. A two-time U.S. Girls Junior Champion, a consistent contender in the U.S. Women's Championship, a two-time Women's Olympiad medalist, and a two-time Women's American Cup champion, Alice already has a distinguished chess career before the age of 16. If she chooses to continue with chess, she may be well en route to be one of the first 50 women to have earned the Grandmaster title. So that is all that we have for this week. Tune in next time, where we will continue to work on our blindfold skills and look at another game of the Masters.